Hello and welcome to Gilgalad Gaming. Today's topic is how to tank Adina. Before we come to the mechanics, I need to tell some stuff you will need to know about this video. Firstly, this video will be longer than it's intended because it will include two different tanking styles. My style, and then there's AV's tanking, who is covering our tanking role for our guild runs. My first intention was to put our tanking side by side, but it turns out AV is doing much more advanced stuff than I thought, so first part of this video will be for people who are learning how to tank Adina, and the second part will be for people who have been tanking Adina but looking for what's more to discover. Adina's attack pattern is on the screen. For Adina, you do need boon removal because with every auto attack she gains 2 stacks of might. Adina's auto attacks, as long as you boon strip her, doesn't hit much and can easily be out-healed. As I'm tanking with Tempest, I choose to out-heal myself. But it is also possible to sidestep from her auto attacks, because when she is attacking she cannot turn. Another mechanic, every time after the eye, Boulder Barrage comes. So to hide from Boulder Barrage, all players hide behind the pillars, and that includes you as a tank. Also, your group shouldn't put pillars behind the tank because you won't be able to use them because of the mines. After 3 auto attacks, she uses Perilous Pulse, which is this orange cone attack that tracks tank's movement. This skill does a little bit of damage, but the problem is it knocks you back. Specifically for this attack, I use my shield skill on my utility bar. But it's also possible to first dodge this attack at the last second, because after the casting is done, the cone will stop moving with you and stick to the ground, so you can try sidestep or literally dodge inside the cone. Secondly, if you have continuous stability coming from your group or your class, you can just overheal yourself. So let's talk about mines now. Adina will use 5 auto attacks and 9 use stalagmites. After casting the cone leaves mines, aka hexes, on the ground. These are simply called hacks in game terms, but we also call them mines because they explode and instantly down you when you step on them. So when I'm tanking this boss, I try to take advantage of this area on the left we leave empty. If your group spreads too much, you won't have much space to put hexes on a different place. And after the Boulder Barrage, you have to return to the same spot and you have to stand too close to where you put hexes. This creates 2 problems. First is Adina has knockback cone skills and they may push you to the mines and kill you. Second is, if boss phases to that spinning earth blades, all hexes currently standing on the arena will explode, and that will damage the tank who is closest to the mines a great deal. I think I die mostly to these 2 mechanics, so that's why I started putting mines to the further left of me, so I can return to an empty space after Boulder Barrage. To avoid getting damaged by the hexes exploding, when Adina's percentage is close to phasing, you can step inside the Adina's hitbox and you will still have time to leave Adina's hitbox to avoid the blades. I also asked AV what advice would she give to people who will tank Adina, and we both agreed on mines, aka hexes, are the most problematic thing in this boss, because pushback skills and the explosion. A small note here, on the CM mode, when Adina phases, this hex explosion will instantly down you as a tank, and people have to rush to raise you before the blades come, which makes this mechanic one of the reasons to wipe on CM mode. After the hexes, fight goes on like this until 20%, and after 20%, depending on your group DPS, groups start ignoring the hands that are spawning, and that's to kill Adina faster. At this phase, as a tank, you need to be ready to throw some cooldowns to stay alive, because ignoring hands hurts both your group and tank a lot. Here, for both tank and the group, I advise to have stability and reflection skills. For example, Bubble will solve a lot of your problems at the last 20%. So let's come to how AV does things. AV for most of the fight stays inside the Adina's hitbox. There are two reasons for this. Adina has two mechanics tanks manage. First one is hexes and the second one is pushback con. By standing inside the Adina's hitbox, AV avoids getting damaged by them if they explode. She's safe and far enough from them. As you can see, there's also enough time to avoid blades as well. As for the pushback con, even though Avis stays inside the hitbox, she will still get affected by the pushback, but she doesn't move because she has stability coming from the group. But if there is no stability, what AV does is she moves one step further to the direction where DPS is standing for 1 second only and then comes back to where she is. Remember me saying this con sticks to the ground so you can sidestep. AV actually sidesteps but towards where DPS is standing. And she does that when this con exactly sticks to the ground. And then she comes back. Seems a little easy because it's just one step, but you need to time it. And that's all from us. Thank you for watching. If this guide was useful for you, you can always subscribe to support me in making of these guides. Have a nice day.